Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to do some scale drawing, bearings, whereby we are told that 4 points, A, B, C, and D, are such that A is 21 meters on a bearing of 60 degrees from south towards west from B. D is 15 meters on a bearing of 30 degrees from south towards east from A. Then C is due east of D and south 40 degrees towards east from B. Then we are told using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 3 centimeters, draw a diagram to show the relative positions of the 4 points. Therefore, we got 4 points here, and we are going to draw a scale diagram to represent their relative positions to show them. So what we are going to do first is to draw point A, because we are told they are such that A is 21 meters on a bearing of from B. So we start with B. So the point to be drawn first here is B. So that from it now, we can get the bearing of A. Therefore, from point B, which is here, this is our B, we are going to measure an angle of 60 degrees from the south and towards west. Therefore, this is south, this is east, this is west. Therefore, from south towards west, 60 degrees. Therefore, we measure 60 degrees from south towards west. That is what we mean by that compass bearing. So an angle of 60 is here. So now we produce a line through this angle of 60 degrees. So this is our line. After producing the line, now that this is the angle of 60 degrees, the other thing will be the distance. Remember, we are using a scale of 1 centimeter, 3 meters. So 21 meters will be represented by 7, because we will divide 21 by 3. So 7 centimeters. So a length of 7 centimeters, and we stand here and make an arc. These are 7 centimeters, which are representing 21 meters. So at that point, we draw another angle of 60 so that we may raise a very perfect north. So standing at this point, we measure an acute angle of 60. So through this mark, we are going to draw our north, our compass here. So this is our compass, and this is point A. Then after this now, we are going to do another point. We continue with interpreting the information. We are told that D is 15 meters on a bearing of 30 southeast from A. Therefore, from point A, from south, this is south, towards east, we measure 30 degrees. Therefore, we will stand here and measure 30 degrees. 30 degrees. So through 30 degrees, we now produce our line. And because we have been told 15 meters, we should divide it with the scale. And we know that in this case, we want only 5 centimeters to represent the 15 meters. So 5 centimeter length, we measure. This is 5 centimeters. The 5 centimeters are representing the 15 meters. Then now we know that because we've measured 30 degrees here, we will measure another 30 degrees on the upper side so that we may raise a very perfect north at this point. So we measure another 30 degrees at this point. So with that 30 degrees, we will raise a very good north at this point. Very good north. So we have a north here. This is our point D. Our point D. The last point is C now. We are told that C is due east of D. Due east of D. So that means for us to get C, we just stand at D and we produce, standing at D, we produce a line very horizontal and to the right. Very horizontal and to the right. So standing on those marks, we make other marks here and another one using the same radius. So we produce the line like this. That line has been produced to the east of D. You know, the east of D is where we'll find C. And again, at south, we measure 40 degrees towards east from B. So when we are at B, 40 degrees towards east. 40 degrees towards east. So south, we measure 40 degrees towards east. The mark is here. So we produce this line now, 40 degrees towards east from B. So we are discovering that when we produce this line, and the other line, which was just towards the east from D, we discover the two conditions are meeting somewhere. So this is going to become our point C. Our point C. Then we raise a compass. We raise a compass at C because we have measured 40 degrees here. So we will have to raise another 40 on the upper side so that our north will be very perpendicular and accurate. So another 40 here. So it's good to know the acute angles to be transferred for you to raise a very good north. So at this point, we just draw our compass. So that is our point C. So these are the relative positions of those places on the Earth's surface. Let's look at another question. So after that, we are told now to find distance CD and BC. So CD, distance CD. So standing at C and D, we just take the arc. That is the distance. So we transfer the arc into the ruler and we are getting 10.3. 10.3. 10.3 centimeters. So the distance CD is 10.3 centimeters, which we are supposed to multiply by 5. 10.3 by 5, so that we get 51.5 meters. That is the distance. We can also measure another distance. We are told to measure CD and BC. So distance BC, we also stand here. We take this radius, then we transfer it to the ruler. This distance is becoming 10.2 centimeters. So BC, 10.2. We multiply it with 5 again, the scale. This is giving us exactly 51 meters. 51 meters. Then after this, we are supposed to also measure distance and compass bearing of A from C. Compass bearing of A from C. So A and C have to be joined first. A and C have to be joined first. Before distance, let me identify the compass bearing. So the compass bearing, it is true that now compass bearing is stated from either south or north towards either east or west, depending on the side, which will give us an acute angle. Therefore, when we measure from south, to get the line connecting C and A, it will be more than 90 degrees. So we are moving from north. Let me measure the angle now. So from north, through an angle of 70 degrees, from north, an angle of 70 degrees towards west. So from north through 70 degrees towards west. This is the bearing of A from C. The bearing of A from C. Now the distance can be determined normally. Standing at A, we produce the arc. We just lift the distance like that. We transfer it to our ruler. This distance is 13.3 centimeters. So the distance is 13.3 centimeters. We multiply it with 5. 13.3. It should be noted that you have made a slight mistake. This should be by 3. Distances, the scale is 3. So we are multiplying by 3. So 13.3 by 3, which is giving us 39.9 meters. Then 10.2 by 3, this should give us 30.6 meters. And 10.3 by 3 should be 30.09. 30.09 meters. So those are the respective distances. Sorry for that. And finally, distance and bearing of B from D. B from D. Therefore, B from D. We connect B and D. Remember to subscribe to our channel. B from D. So from D, we have to move from north towards east through a given acute angle so that we may connect it with B. So B from D, I will measure the acute angle from the north. So this acute angle is exactly fitting as 25. Exactly 25. So this is from north through an angle of 25 degrees towards the east. Then to measure the distance, you just lift the distance, you multiply it with 3 so that you may get the exact distance on the ground. So thank you for following. Subscribe and share.